This is a, yeah, thank you. This is a second set of capillaries. Okay. So any vessel which is connecting two sets of capillaries is called a portal system. Is it clear? So generally what do we see? There is an artery that breaks up into arteriole, then the capillary, और फिर कैपिलरी से क्या निकलता है? वेन निकलता है ना, आर्टरी तो नहीं निकलता, वेन निकलता है. तो एक सेट ऑफ कैपिलरीज है, यहां से एक वेन निकला, बट फिर जब दूसरा सेट ऑफ कैपिलरी बनता है तो आर्टरी आता है ना, it doesn't end in a vein. But here there are two set of capillaries which are connected by a vessel, and this vessel is called the portal vein. And there are other examples of a portal system, which is two set of capillaries joined by a vessel, like the hypophyseal system, where the hypothalamus is connected to the anterior pituitary. That's also set of capillaries joined, but we'll talk about that later. Here we are talking about the portal vein, which is the biggest portal system in the body, in human body, the portal vein. And portal means a vein which is connecting two sets of capillaries. Okay. So now you know what is portal, and portal vein is the biggest portal system. Let me tell you, the one set of capillaries is the liver, okay, and another set of capillaries is the GI tract, elementary tract, ठीक है. So elementary tract से जो भी चीजें हैं, whatever the elementary tract is, when the food is passing and there is digestion happening, so whatever nutrients that are absorbed, whatever products of protein and carbohydrate metabolism, they are taken up by the capillaries of the intestinal wall. Okay, and from the capillaries of the intestinal wall, via the portal vein, it goes to the capillaries of the liver, which we call as sinusoids. ठीक है, समझ में आया? तो basic concept is all the nutrients of the alimentary tract, throughout the alimentary tract except for the anal canal, plus from the gallbladder, from the pancreas, from the spleen, इन सब जगह से जितने भी विसराज हैं, सब से जो कैपिलरीज बन करके and they drain into the liver. Okay, the capillaries from the alimentary tract goes to the capillaries of the liver through the portal vein. Is it clear? So first you should know what is portal system. A portal system is a system that connects two sets of capillaries. Here one set of the biggest portal system is the portal vein, and here what are the two sets of capillaries? One is the elementary tract, wall of the elementary tract, चाहे तुम उसे stomach का हो या duodenum, jejunum, ileum, large intestine, okay, including everything except the anal canal. Apart from the alimentary tract, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the spleen, in all these areas, they are all coming and they are going to the liver. Okay. Now the vein which is the vein which is coming from the alimentary tract. Matthew, what do you understand by portal system? Yeah, the topic is portal vein. What do you understand by the word portal? Well, no one knew over here, so you sit down. Do you know what is portal? Okay, I'll tell you. You are late and I won't waste any more time. Portal system means a system which connects one set of capillaries to the other set of capillaries. This vessel, this is called the portal system. Repeating for all those who missed out. Okay. So portal system means the vessel connecting one set of capillaries to another set of capillaries. Here one set of capillaries is the intestine, the whole of the alimentary tract. There is one set of capillaries in the wall of the intestine and another set is in the liver. and the vein which is connecting is the portal vein, and this is the largest portal system. The other example being the hypophyseal system, where the hypothalamus and the anterior pituitary are connected. Okay, so all the nutrients from the intestine, alimentary tract, plus from the gallbladder, pancreas, spleen, they go through the capillaries to the liver via the portal vein. Okay, let us switch off my phone. Now, from the intestine, the vessel that is going is the superior mesenteric vein. Superior mesenteric vein. The superior mesenteric vein is going to the liver, and this is joined by another vein, which is the splenic vein, okay, which is coming from the spleen. Splenic vein and superior mesenteric vein, both the veins with an S, the splenic vein and the superior mesenteric vein, they unite to form the portal vein. The portal vein is formed by the union of the superior mesenteric vein. Okay. Now you all know one thing. The gut is supplied by the foregut by the celiac trunk, the midgut by the superior mesenteric vein, and the hindgut by the inferior mesenteric vein. Okay, तो superior mesenteric vein midgut से ला रहा है. आप कहोगे कि आप सर कह रहे हैं पूरा intestine है, फिर why superior mesenteric vein going and forming the portal vein? What about the inferior mesenteric vein? So inferior mesenteric vein is a tributary of splenic vein. IMV, inferior mesenteric vein, is a tributary of splenic vein. Okay, so inferior mesenteric vein hindgut से, superior mesenteric vein midgut से, और celiac trunk के जो branches थे, तो corresponding veins जो थे, left gastric, right gastric, we'll talk about that. So basically from all GI tracts, the nutrients are coming to the liver via the portal vein. So it's a very important channel. Okay, is it clear? And how is it formed? By the union of superior mesenteric vein and the splenic vein. What about the inferior mesenteric? It drains into the splenic vein. Okay. Now, having talked about the portal system, you need to know a few things. What are the peculiarities of the portal system? How is it different? How is the portal vein different from other veins in the body? Anyone? It's the largest portal system, yeah, fine, but how is it different from the other vein, like the inferior vena cava or the superior vena cava? How is the portal vein different from other veins? Very good. The veins are generally for carrying deoxygenated blood. So this also carries the deoxygenated blood, but it also carries nutrients which other arteries don't carry. Okay, it's carrying all the nutrients from the entire alimentary tract. Okay, so one peculiarity is. Another thing, I'll just rub off this, and now keeping it more simple, no, that's not good. Please switch off your phones when you come over here. So here we have the splenic vein, and here we have the superior mesenteric vein, and the two are uniting to form the portal vein, which is the topic for today. Okay. Now, when the splenic vein and the superior mesenteric vein, the blood coming from the spleen, so all the nutrients are coming from the superior mesenteric vein. From the spleen, generally, you have the destruction of RBC is happening in the spleen, so the product of destruction are coming through splenic vein. But then inferior mesenteric is bringing the blood from the hindgut. Anyway, you have blood coming over here. And you have blood coming over here. When the two bloods, they unite, they go up, forming the portal vein. So what happens when the two stream of blood unite? Will there be two different streams or will there be one? There will be one, because do mil gaya hai na. How many of you have been to Allahabad and seen the Sangam between the Ganga and the Yamuna? Anyone? Raise your hand. Please stand up. संगम देखने गई थी, क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? साक्षी, राशि, तो राशिका, तो गंगा और यमुना का पानी जब मिल रहा था, तो मिलने के बाद एक लग रहा था या अलग अलग लग रहा था? अलग अलग लग रहा था, लग रहा था ना? यहाँ पर भी the two bloods are uniting, but there is two different flows. Okay. They are going through a single channel, but if I draw with a different arrow, different color, so there are two different streams which are going up, and they call it the Sangam dictum. There is a term they use, Sangam dictum. It's very similar to the Ganga Yamuna meeting, and the two streams, they look different. I haven't gone there to the Sangam, but that's why I asked her. Okay, so यहाँ पर भी अलग रहता है. So this is a very peculiar. So peculiarity, one Prachi said, it's carrying the nutrients. Second is called the streaming of blood. The blood that is going through the portal vein, they don't mix. The one coming from the superior mesenteric vein and the splenic vein, which is very strange and very weird, but that's how it is. Okay. So that's how it is, and this is because of many reasons. Because they are coming from two different directions. The velocity of both the bloods are different. The flow is very sluggish. So all those things, but we won't go to those details. But it's streaming of blood is seen, but they're going together, but they're not mixing. Okay. So this is the second peculiarity. One was it was carrying the nutrient. So let's come back to the formation of the first thing. We talked about the portal system. A portal system is a system that connects two sets of capillaries. Here the two sets are, one is in the wall of the alimentary tract, another is in the liver. Okay. So entire alimentary tract, not only that, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the spleen, from there the blood is coming through the portal vein. The capillaries from the wall of the GI tract and all that, they're coming through the portal vein. To the capillaries of the liver are sinusoids. ये आप लोग ने पढ़ा होगा, है ना? Sinusoids. Okay. So where is it formed? Describe, and you need to know the competencies. Okay. You describe and identify the formation, source, relation, and tributaries of portal vein. That's the main vein. These will be discussing in short, but this is the main vein. Okay. And then the portocable anastomosis. So at the end of a session, the student should know how the portal vein is formed. Okay, how it's formed. Study the course of the portal vein and the important structures related to it as it passes from the alimentary tract to the liver. Kya relations hain? To find out the important tributaries of the portal vein. And then, of course, the inferior vena cava renal vein will be studying in detail. Okay. So, I will try to use more of diagram. Wherever necessary, I'll show you the images. You can imagine how happy I must be to have this finally. Putting the board and all that drama, and I'm very excited. I was पूरे department को party देने वाले थे जिस दिन लगा था कि finally I got my dream fulfilled. And भगवान जब देते हैं ना तो छप्पर फाड़ कर देते हैं, कहते हैं ना, तो यहाँ ही नहीं लगा, एनाटमी में दो लग गए, एक वो वाले LT में and एक म्यूजियम में. So I'm just at the top. I've never used this, so I'll take time to get used to the diagram, but something I really wanted. आइए सर, आइए एक सेकंड आइए. अरे कहाँ जा रहे हैं सर? आइए इधर, आइए इधर इधर इधर। आ गई है, आइए आइए, कोई नहीं चलो। हाँ आप बैठिए, यहाँ आके बैठो। आप बोलते मैं किसी को भेज देता बुलाने के लिए आप। So how it's formed, I have told you, by the union of the splenic vein and the superior mesenteric vein, where it is formed and what are the parts, what are the relations. Let's try to see it in the diagram. So my diagrams might not come out very well initially, but eventually I hope. So so you have a splenic vein which is coming over here. You have a superior. Achha, let me use a. Somewhat bluish color. Okay, so this confluence or the sangam that we are talking about between the splenic vein and the superior mesenteric vein is happening at the in the C of the duodenum. Okay, this is the first part of duodenum, this is the second, this is the third, and this is the fourth. Okay, so over here it's happening. Is it clear? So what do we have over here in this concavity of the duodenum? We have the pancreas. Okay, so if I draw a pancreas, and then you have the spleen. So the exact location where this is happening is, this is the head of the pancreas. And let me very quickly redraw it. So if you have the pancreas and the spleen, then Why I had to rub it off was because the splenic vein which is coming is behind the pancreas, okay? Splenic vein is not above the pancreas, so I had to draw it in dotted lines, okay? So the union or the confluence is just behind the neck. This is the head, neck, body and the tail, okay? Just behind the neck of the pancreas. Where is it happening? Just behind the neck of the pancreas. That's very important, at the level of L2, okay, at the level of second lumbar vertebrae. So the union of the splenic and where is the portal vein? When you write about the portal vein, all the introductory part I told you, after that you come to the formation. So formation, and then you write it formed just behind the neck of the pancreas, just behind the neck of the pancreas. You come here, yeah, sit here. You are not very listening very sincerely. Yeah, come here. But you are talking a lot. I observe a lot of things, but I try not to disturb the class. Okay. Either you come and listen, or be like others who don't come at all. Okay. So देखो, this is the first part of duodenum, second, third, fourth. तो एक concavity जो है ना इस तरह से, यहाँ पर pancreas है और pancreas के पीछे बन रहा है. Behind the pancreas has the head, neck, body, tail. So behind the neck, the two unite. The splenic vein is coming behind the body of the pancreas, as you can see. Okay, splenic is coming from the spleen, so it's lying behind the body of the pancreas. But where does it unite with the superior mesenteric vein? Behind the union, the formation of portal vein is behind the neck of the pancreas at the level of L2. Okay. What are the peculiarities? It's carrying nutrients other than deoxygenated blood. There is streaming of blood. Okay, the blood, they don't mix with each other. Okay. So that's very important. Now if I just draw the duodenum, and supposing this is a splenic vein which is coming behind the pancreas. I have not drawn the pancreas. Then this is the superior mesenteric vein which is there. They unite to form the portal vein. The pancreas is here, so it's behind the pancreas. I'm not drawing the pancreas. Then it goes up and towards the right. It moves upward. The portal vein moves upwards and towards the right. Behind what? Behind first part of duodenum. That's very important. So here is pancreas, here is duodenum. So I'm drawing a dotted line over here. And then it goes upwards. Okay. And finally, it enters the porta hepatis and divides into the left and the right branch. So that's a very simple course. Okay. So, but there are many parts to it. I'm starting with a very simple line. It's formed behind the neck of the pancreas at the level of L2. Okay. It passes upwards and towards the right. Passes upwards and towards the right. First passing behind the pancreas, जहाँ बना था, कहाँ बना था? Behind the pancreas. Then behind the first part of duodenum. Then while it goes upwards, it's lying in the right margin of lesser omentum. Now this part here is going in the right margin of lesser omentum. What I mean by that, I'll come to it. But going along the right margin of lesser omentum, along with bile duct and hepatic arteries. There are three structures going up. Okay, so along with a bile duct, you know the bile duct opens over here, and along with along with the hepatic artery. Okay, is it clear? Okay, is it clear? Then finally it reaches the porta hepatis, where it enters and divides into two branches, the right and the left branch. So that is portal vein for you. Simple. Now this whole course is divided into three parts. One is when it is here, which is below the duodenum. Second is when it is behind the duodenum. I have drawn dotted line यहाँ दिख नहीं रहा है, behind the duodenum. And third, when it is above the first part of duodenum. So the first is called supraduodenal part, second is called retro, behind, and third is called infra. So the duodenum, the portal vein is divided into three parts. Okay, जहाँ बना था वो infraduodenal part है, जब ऊपर गया थोड़ा सा. Then first part of duodenum के पीछे गया, वो जो part है, that is retroduodenal. And then along the right margin of lesser omentum gaya upar, that is supraduodenal. The whole length is 8 centimeters. They say 3 inches, so 3 inches would be slightly more. 3 inches yaad rakhna. It is 3 inches long. Is it clear? Now what happens over here? After reaching the liver, if you just look at the portal vein, which was in this orange color, so over here we have a vein over here. What vein is this? Inferior vena cava, है ना? So what happens? This divides into, I told you it will divide into a capillary. Okay. This will also divide into a capillary. Okay. Or sinusoid. It breaks up into a sinusoid. And from here the hepatic vein goes to the inferior vena cava. The hepatic vein goes to the inferior vena, from the right and the left. Okay. Is it clear? So eventually जो blood आ रहा है वो liver में, capillary में, sinusoid में जा रहा है. Liver में blood 80% portal vein से आ रहा है, बाकी 20% hepatic artery से आ रहा है. So both are coming, dividing into right left branch, both are breaking up into capillaries, and both are mixing. वहाँ blood mix हो जा रहा है, and they both go to the inferior vena cava. Eventually वहाँ से right atrium में. Is it clear? So I will show you a diagram that will be much clearer here. There are two cases which are very important cases. I'll come to it later. Look. Okay, very clear. What is this? Superior mesenteric vein. There's superior mesenteric, there's a splenic vein. What vein is draining into a splenic vein? Inferior mesenteric. Your portal vein is formed, dividing into right, left, divides, and then breaking up into capillary. And then this is the hepatic vein, which is going to the... So you need to understand this is a very simple concept. Okay? Okay. Now, there are two terms that you have studied, which was ligamentum venosum and ligamentum teres in the liver. Yeah, falciform ligament. But more than that, the ligamentum venosum and ligamentum teres. Okay? So what are those? Okay. Remnant. Okay, तुमने पढ़ लिया और तुमने एक याद कर लिया कि हाँ, ligamentum teres is a remnant of left umbilical vein and ligamentum venosum is a remnant of ductus venosus. Okay. But होता क्या है ये मैं तुम लोगों को समझा दे रहा हूँ so that it remains with you what I'm trying to tell you. Normal system हमने बता दिया. Normal system is the blood comes from the entire alimentary tract, from gallbladder, pancreas, spleen, goes to the liver, divides into goes, they are broken up into capillary or sinusoids. From there they are collected and again going through the hepatic vein into the inferior vena cava. But before birth, what happens, that I'm going to tell you, okay? So supposing this is how it's coming, okay? Now what is this? This is the left branch of the portal vein. This is the right branch of the portal vein, okay? Now before birth, what happens? From the placenta, supposing this is the placenta, blood is coming to the which branch? The left branch of the portal vein, okay? And from here it should break up into sinusoids and go into the hepatic vein and then into the inferior vena cava. But that does not happen. What happens is, you have the inferior vena cava over here. The blood goes through another vein into the inferior vena cava. This is ductus venosus. You know? So it's totally bypassing the liver. Okay. This vein which is coming from the placenta, there are right and left umbilical vein. The right disappears. You are left with left. You are left with left umbilical vein reh jata hai. So this is the left umbilical vein coming, bringing oxygenated blood from the, at that time the supply is from the mother, from the placenta. So it's bringing oxygenated blood from the placenta and draining into which part of the portal vein? The left branch of the portal vein. And from there it's not going into the sinusoid. It's bypassing the liver and it's going into the inferior vena cava through ductus venosus. But the moment the child is born, okay, both these channels, the left umbilical vein, let me write it down for you. And the ductus venosus, they obliterate and they become ligamentous, fibrous, they become fibrous cord. This becomes ligamentum teres and this becomes ligamentum venosum. Okay, left umbilical vein becomes ligamentum teres and this becomes ligamentum venosum. Blood no more passes through it. Blood does not bypass after that. Blood comes through the normal channel, then sinusoids and the hepatic vein and it goes. समझ में आया? So ये difference है before birth. So now you know left umbilical vein is bringing blood from the placenta to the left. पूरा बोलोगे, from the placenta to the left branch of the portal vein. And from there it's going through the ductus venosus to the inferior vena cava, bypassing the liver before birth. But after birth, this doesn't happen. The normal channel is one capillary going to another, which is the sinusoid, then hepatic vein and inferior vena cava. Is it clear? And those that were functioning before birth, they now become remnant and become fibrous cords. And yeah, the left umbilical vein forms the ligamentum teres and the other forms the ligamentum venosum. तो सिर्फ नाम मत जानना, थोड़ा सा आइडिया भी होना चाहिए कि क्या है ना? So that whenever घुमा करके अगर आएगा तुम लोग के exit exam में, so you can understand what they are trying to asked. So anyway, having said all that, let's you all have heard about the Newton's law? How many laws were there? 3. There is one law, law of conservation of facts. Have you heard of this? Law of conservation of facts. Actually, yesterday this was my Facebook status I had kept. Anyone who, what is law of conservation of facts? The whole is law of conservation of facts for students. ये students का है. This law says that however good the lecture it is, the knowledge before the lecture and after the lecture remains the same. ऐसा है ना? ऐसा मुझे एहसास होने लगा है. तो this is called the law of conservation. Facts conserved है, मतलब वो बढ़ता भी नहीं है, कम भी नहीं होता है. So whatever effort we might put in, your knowledge before the lecture and after the lecture remains the same. So I hope you will prove as an exception कि नहीं कुछ knowledge लेके जाओगे after this. ये नहीं कि बाद में पूछे तो कुछ नहीं बोल रहे. Okay. So anyway, now how was the interaction with the sectors? Good. Okay, nice. So, while the portal vein is going, whatever color I am getting, I am using it. Let's come to the first part of the portal vein. What is the first part called? Infraduodenal part. Very good. Infraduodenal part. So, write down relations of the portal veins and you will tell me what will be the relation. एक चीज मैं बता दूं, portal vein के relation में posteriorly throughout there is one structure that is inferior vena cava. So inferior vena cava is always चाहे intraduodenal हो, supraduodenal हो या retroduodenal हो. Inferior vena cava is posterior to the portal vein. Is it clear? Okay. So let's come to the first part, which is the intraduodenal. Anteriorly क्या होगा? तुम बताओ किसके पीछे था? Pancreas. Neck of the pancreas would be more exact. So write down anterior relation, neck of the pancreas, and posterior relation, inferior vena cava. Okay, the inferior vena cava. Now this is a very important diagram and a very simple diagram to remember. Supposing this is the liver, this is the inferior vena cava. Okay. This is portal vein. Okay. This is anterior and this is posterior. Okay. Just over here you find the epiploic foramen. Okay, this opening, this is the epiploic foramen. Okay. Then you have the hepatic artery. No, sorry, artery should be in red, so I'll just. Okay. And finally, you have the bile duct. And you have the first part of duodenum, which is covered by peritoneum. If I extend the inferior vena cava further, it is going like this. Don't talk, please. So now you look, supraduodenal part is this. Supraduodenal part, and this is the portal vein. So portal vein के पीछे क्या है, फिर ये duodenal part है और ये infraduodenal part है. Okay. So in the infraduodenal part, this is the structure that we are defining. Over here we have the pancreas, supposing the neck of the pancreas. So we have anteriorly the pancreas and posteriorly the inferior vena cava. Okay. When you come to the duodenal part, so anteriorly what do you have? The first part of duodenum. Then you have the bile duct. Okay. I told you in this diagram also. The bile duct is coming and opening. Okay. And when you talk about the artery, what are the branches of the celiac trunk? Left gastric, common hepatic, and splenic. Okay. So common hepatic artery यहाँ से आ रहा है, and common hepatic artery is dividing into two branches. What are these? Hepatic artery proper and gastroduodenal artery. Okay, and gastroduodenal artery. So behind the first part of duodenum, you have the gastroduodenal artery, not the hepatic artery proper. And this was what I was trying to show you. Behind the first part, the anterior relation behind the first part, behind the retroduodenal part, the anterior relation is gastroduodenal artery, bile duct. Posteriorly, it is inferior vena cava. Just to revise it once more. Third part, anterior relation, pancreas. Posterior relation, inferior vena cava. Second part, that is retroduodenal part. Anterior relation, duodenum and bile duct and gastroduodenal artery. है ना, क्योंकि यहाँ गैस्ट्रोड्यूडनल है और सुप्राड्यूडनल में हेपेटिक आर्टरी प्रॉपर. ठीक है, तो ये डायग्राम काफी यूजफुल है उस तरह से टू जस्ट टू रिमेंबर. इज इट क्लियर? सो एंटीरियर रिलेशन, पोस्टीरियर रिलेशन, inferior vena cava. Supraduodenal part में anterior relation क्या होगा? Hepatic artery, bile duct, सबसे आगे bile duct है, फिर hepatic artery है, and फिर यही दो स्ट्रक्चर हैं. और पोस्टीरियरली क्या है? Inferior vena cava and epiploic foramen. Epiploic foramen भी है. Is it clear? So just write down the relations, and I would want you all to learn the relations now. Okay. Trying to draw a much clearer diagram. So anyway, the third part, which is the infraduodenal part, anterior relation is pancreas, posterior relation is inferior vena cava. You can also write the bile duct, but mainly inferior vena cava. Okay. The retroduodenal part, anterior relation, first part of duodenum, bile duct, and the gastroduodenal artery. Is it clear? Posterior relation, inferior vena cava. Supraduodenal part, the anterior relations, bile duct, then hepatic artery proper, you can say just hepatic artery, and posterior relation, inferior vena cava, and the epiploic foramen. Don't forget to write the epiploic foramen over here, posterior relations. Okay, so this is about the relations. Now finally the tributaries of the portal vein. I don't think I'll be able to finish the portocaval anastomosis, वो मैं अगले क्लास में करा दूंगा. So I'll just finish the tributaries of the portal vein. Okay. I want all of you to learn the tributaries with me, especially जो second last rows में जो 3 लड़के हैं 4 हैं, आप लोग ये tributaries मेरे साथ याद करेंगे. Very quickly, portal vein is formed where? Within the concavity of the duodenum, behind the pancreas, at the level of L2. It is 8 centimeter in length. It's divided into 3 parts: the infraduodenal part, retroduodenal, and supraduodenal part. It passes upwards and towards the right. First passing behind the pancreas, then passing behind the first part of duodenum, and then passing along the right curvature of the lesser omentum. Now, when I say right curvature of the lesser omentum, you all should know this is the lesser omentum. Lesser omentum was a fold of peritoneum that was connecting the lesser curvature to the lesser curvature of stomach to the liver. And not only lesser curvature of stomach, but first part of duodenum. Is it clear? So in this right, there's the left border, this is the right border. So right margin of the lesser curvature, we have the portal vein. Now there are three structures, very important line before coming to the tributaries. In the right margin of the lesser omentum, there are three structures. सबसे posteriorly portal vein है, ये बार बार पूछा जाएगा वाइवा में. Okay. Anteriorly to the portal vein and towards the left is hepatic artery. Anteriorly and towards the right is the bile duct. ठीक है. तो अगर हम posterior to anterior बनाएं, तो posterior most is the portal vein. Okay. And towards the left is the hepatic artery. Anterior and towards the left, and anterior and towards the right is the bile duct. So all these three structures are in the right margin of the, ठीक है, जो right margin में जा रहा है, तो सबसे पीछे क्या है? Portal vein. Now what happens? The main supply of blood is by the portal vein and the hepatic artery. So whenever there is bleeding in the liver and you want to stop bleeding, it can lead to death, sudden death. Okay, there's so much of blood going to the liver. So what do we do? In the right margin of the lesser omentum, we press the, यहाँ दोनों structures आसपास हैं. So we press these two structures with the finger, with the index finger. We put the finger behind the epiploic foramen, go to the lesser sac. एक finger पीछे एक आगे, and we press it and stop the bleeding immediately. उस समय तो कुछ टाई वाई बाद में पहले था. This is called Pringle's maneuver. If someone asks you what is Pringle maneuver, so at the right margin of the lesser omentum we have portal vein posterior most, hepatic artery which is anterior and towards the left, and bile duct towards the right. So hepatic artery and portal vein are pressed over there to stop the bleeding. That's Pringle's maneuver. हमने पूछा था तुम लोगों से कल, है ना? So this is Pringle's maneuver. So remember this. Now coming to the tributaries. Now I can draw it faster because I am getting now what are the tributaries? One is the left gastric vein, right gastric vein. जैसे left और right gastric arteries था, वैसे ही left and right gastric vein है. So these are tributaries of the. Then there is one which is arising just behind the first part of duodenum and going. This is superior pancreatico-duodenal vein. Okay, so one is I am not labeling it. The right and the left gastric vein, superior pancreatico-duodenal vein. One very important vein, is very, very important, is the para-umbilical vein. Okay, it's going to the umbilicus. Para-umbilical vein. क्या नाम है इसका? Para-umbilical vein. Okay, and it is not coming from the main trunk of the portal vein. कहाँ से आ रहा है? लेफ्ट. तो लेफ्ट में तीन चीजें लेफ्ट में याद रखना है. लेफ्ट अम्बलाइकल वेन, बाद में लिगामेंटम टेरिस बन गया, वो भी लेफ्ट में था. डक्टस वेनोसस, बाद में लिगामेंटम वेनोसम बन गया, वो भी लेफ्ट में था. एंड पैरा अम्बलाइकल वेन. तो ये तीन कहां पर से किसकी ट्रिब्यूटरीज हैं? लेफ्ट ब्रांच ऑफ पोर्टल वेन. राइट का एक है सिस्टिक वेन टू द गॉल ब्लैडर. So there is a cystic vein to the gallbladder. So just summing it up, left gastric, right gastric, superior pancreatico-duodenal, ये तीनों कहाँ से आ रहा है? मेन ट्रंक से, पोर्टल वेन के. फिर para-umbilical vein. Okay, we won't write the ductus venosus and the left umbilical क्योंकि वो fetus में है. You can write in the during the fetal part left में. Otherwise वो tributaries में नहीं गिनेंगे उसे. Cystic vein, which is from the right branch of the portal vein. Okay, what else? याद कर रहे हो? Tributaries कितने हो गए? Left gastric, right gastric, superior pancreatico-duodenal, para-umbilical, cystic. Then the formative जो हैं, दो जो हैं, ठीक है, superior, the splenic and the superior mesenteric vein. तो पहला दो तो शुरू में तुम लोग ये लिख देना, superior mesenteric vein and splenic vein, and then left gastric, right gastric, superior pancreatico-duodenal, para-umbilical, cystic vein, all that. Inferior mesenteric is a tributary of splenic vein, which is a tributary of portal vein. Okay, so this is about the portal vein. Now the most important part is the portocaval anastomosis. So we don't have enough time today. I'll request her to give me one more class so that we finish up. That's very important. Now what happens is, I'll just tell you in short. I won't teach you right now. All the blood, please 2 minutes रुक जाओ. All the blood from the alimentary tract with the nutrient is coming to the liver, and from there to the sinusoids, and from there to the hepatic vein, from there to the inferior vena cava, forming a portal system, है ना? तो एक तरह से portal vein से systemic vein में चला गया. Portal vein से systemic vein में चला गया. अगर कहीं पर भी ये ब्लॉकेज होता है इस सिस्टम में, then the blood will not be able to go to the inferior vena cava. So what will happen? These tributaries will become functional. Okay, and these tributaries are somewhere or the other. Please don't talk. These tributaries are somewhere or the other connected with the systemic tributaries of the systemic veins. Okay, तो ये जो होते हैं ना, तो ये चैनल जो है ड्रेनेज का यहां से नहीं होकर के यहां से चला जाता है through the tributaries of the portal vein meeting with the tributaries of the systemic vein, inferior vena cava, superior vena cava के branches. Now when these two tributaries meet, तो वहां पर जो meeting point है, there are capillaries over there. They are not capable to handle so much of blood. So what happens? The capillaries become engorged and they bleed. Okay. So bleeding will lead to, अगर यहाँ पर bleeding हो रहा है, supposing there is one point is over here. Okay, the meeting point of the tributaries of the left gastric and the esophageal vein coming from the systemic. So this is called esophageal varices, dilatation of the capillaries. So when this ruptures, the patient will vomit blood. That is called hematemesis. Okay. One tributary is over here. I'm showing you. Here all these veins become enlarged, systemic veins, and that's called caput medusae. One tributary is in the anorectal region. So this will, here where the tributaries are meeting of the systemic and the portal veins, then they also, like this is coming from ये inferior mesenteric है, ये superior rectal vein है, और ये middle और inferior rectal vein है. तो यहाँ पर ये enlarged हो जाता है, and when they rupture, it causes hematemesis. Not hematemesis, it causes the piles, what you call, okay. So those are rupturing and it is leading to stool in the blood, blood in the stool. Okay, so all these things are happening. So these are the sites where, three important sites. One is in the esophagus, one is in the anal canal. In the anal canal, when these varices are enlarged, it's called hemorrhoids. What is it called? Hemorrhoids. So hemorrhoids, caput medusae, तो इन तीनों को हम लोग पढ़ेंगे यार कहाँ पर ये मीट कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये बहुत ज़्यादा क्लिनिकल सिग्निफिकेंस है इसका, ठीक है, ओके. एंड वन थिंग, ये अगर ब्लॉक हो रहा है यहाँ पर सिस्टम, जस्ट 2 minutes, हाँ, when this system is being blocked, why is it blocked? Please stand up. Yes, you with the specs. हाँ, खड़े हो जाओ. ये जो ऐसे करके बैठे हुए हो ना, ये अंदाज राजा शाह वाला छोड़ो, ठीक है, और ऐसा एहसान कर रहे हो जैसे कि I'll keep you here till 1 hour. Why is it blocked? Why is the portal system blocked? The commonest cause of blockage of the portal system is the cirrhosis of liver. Okay. What happens? I'll just finish it off. Some clinical knowledge should go with you before you go. Okay. Just 2-3 minutes से कुछ नहीं होगा. ऐसे भी तुम लोग time waste करते हो उससे ज़्यादा. The cirrhosis of liver में क्या होता है? There are many causes of cirrhosis. One is alcoholic. बहुत alcohol पीता है. One could be drug. Another could be toxins and all that. Okay. So these damage the hepatic cells. Okay. So hepatic cells, hepatocytes, when they are damaged, they do not regenerate. They cannot regenerate. There is fibrosis. Okay. जो भी connective tissue हैं, they start making lot of fibrous tissue. So there is fibrosis of the liver architecture. Okay. Because of this fibrosis, all of the portal vein and all the structures over here are compromised. Okay. So the blood cannot pass through it. Okay. So the portal pressure has risen. ये रास्ता तो तब ले रहा है ना. Now very important point I forgot to tell you, portal vein do not have veins. So there can be retrograde flow. Portal vein and tributaries में valves नहीं होता, sorry, they do not have valves. So there is a retrograde flow. Okay. So when the pressure rises, it's called portal hypertension. Normal portal pressure is 5 to 15 millimeter of Hg. Write down. 5 to 15 millimeter of Hg is the normal pressure. If it is more than 40, it is called portal hypertension. And why it happens? It happens because of cirrhosis of liver. Is one of the commonest, not always, but one of the commonest cause. In cirrhosis, there is hepatocytes are damaged. They cannot regenerate. The connective tissue starts forming fibrous tissue. Okay, and all the hepatocytes and the portal system that's damaged. So the portal pressure rises, and the blood goes in a retrograde direction through the tributaries. They unite with the tributaries of the systemic system. Those channels becomes engorged, and they cannot take so much of pressure, so they rupture, and then that can lead to hematemesis, hemorrhoids, and caput medusae. Thank you. We'll talk about the portocaval anastomosis in detail. इस तरह से जो तुम लोग कर रहे हो ना, मैं एक दिन बैठूंगा सिर्फ बैठ के और कैमरा में I will see who are the students who are sitting in the class but not listening. अब मुस्कुरा रहे हो और ऐसे बैठे हो जैसे कि तुम कोई एहसान कर दे रहे हो. Stop this kind of thing. You meet me in the rail. मतलब I am very, very unforgiving. I am one of the nicest person. I can go to your room and teach you. I can teach you till घर जाके पढ़ा सकते हैं. But अगर इस तरह का attitude दिखाते हो ना, I am the worst person. I can't take attitude from someone who is not even 1/3 my age. बैक पेन इशू नहीं है, तुम्हारा फेस के बगैर इंप्रेशन और एटीट्यूड जो है ना वो बहुत क्लियरली दिखता है. और अगर फर्स्ट ईयर में इस तरह से है तो फाइनल ईयर में आई एम सॉरी टू से यू विल कट अ वेरी सॉरी पिक्चर. देखो, इज द प्रेशर वाज ऑन मी. आई हैड टू फिनिश 2 टॉपिक. हमने एक भी मुश्किल से नहीं कंप्लीट किया. ठीक है, इट्स अ न्यू बोर्ड, न्यू सिस्टम, व्हाटएवर. हम चाह रहे हैं कुछ बोलना. जस्ट बी पेशेंट. जस्ट बी पेशेंट. लेट मी बी हेल्पफुल कि हाँ सर कुछ कंप्लीट करना चाह रहे हैं, कुछ बताना चाह रहे हैं. क्योंकि फिर से कोई चीज बताने के लिए सब कुछ बताना पड़ता है. तो एक जो यू शुड एंड एट अ पॉइंट वेयर इट्स कन्वीनियंट कि नेक्स्ट टाइम हमारा 10-15 मिनट नहीं एक्स्ट्रा लग जाए. आई एम नॉट शाउटिंग विदाउट रीजन. अगर रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं रुक जाओ 2 मिनट 5 मिनट, तो इस तरह से हंस रहे हो और लेटे हो तो ये नहीं चलने वाला है. ओके, थैंक यू फॉर योर मूव.